Hey everybody, Jeremy here. Today I'm going to be checking out the Hazel Quinn Masticating Juicer. Now this little juicer is unique for a few different reasons. One of them is that it was a part of a successful Kickstarter campaign. Two, it's got this retro 1970s look to it, and this is the mint green color. And three, this juicer does not use a metal filter like every other masticating juicer that I have ever seen. So, you know, with juicers, you usually get something like this. You got this metal filter with these really small holes in them, and everything just sort of gets pushed through here, and you get your pulp going into one basket and your juice coming out the other basket. And when you're done, you have to take a little brush and you got to clean this metal filter, and you got to clean it good, make sure there's no pulp left over in there. This juicer does not have that at all. It has an auger, and that is it. And I think that's pretty darn cool. So that's why I want to check this out. And I do want to thank the people behind this juicer for sending it to me so that I could review it for you today. And I got this box up here because I just think that it's a pretty cool looking box, isn't it? Check that out. It's a nicely designed box. I just have to put that out there. Now, what you get with this juicer are just a few different accessories, and they all go towards making the juicer functional. So let me show you everything that comes with the juicer and also how to put it together, because it's also really easy to put together, and I do like that about this. First of all, you're going to get these two baskets. One's going to be for your juice, one is going to be for your pulp, and they're interchangeable. So you can put one under there to catch the juice, you can put one out there to catch the pulp, or you can just switch it up. So it's totally up to you, whatever your preference is. Also going to get the plunger accessory so that you can push the fruits and the vegetables and the leafy greens down into the auger. You also have this little piece right here that just sort of sits up top. And then here is the main assembly. Now, I really do like the way that this is assembled. So all you have to do is just press this little black button right here, and then everything just slides right out, So there's no inserting and twisting it so that it can click into place. No, you just boom and you're done. Now there are some other pieces to this, I must say. So this end piece right here, you do have to give this little piece a twist, and then this piece comes off. And then on the other side, that also requires a twist so that you can take that off. And now you have three pieces, only three pieces to assemble this juicer as far as, the business end of the juicer. So this is what has replaced that metal filter. It's some sort of specially designed auger, and they've done it up in a way to basically make the filter irrelevant, which I think is pretty cool, because cleaning the filter is like the worst part of cleaning a masticating juicer. So it's great to not have to do that. And then at the bottom, you have like this anti-drip spout so that you can just take this little plastic part, move it up, and then that's what's going to let the juice flow. And then when you don't want it to drip anymore, you just put it right back down, and then no more drips. So assembling this thing is it's so easy. It's so easy to assemble. You just take the thin end, little end, put in the big end, then give it a twist. That's done. Then at this point, you can take this in and just socket it right into the machine. It clicks into place. That's done. And now you just have this piece here that you put on the end, and then you give this a twist to make sure that it's facing down, and then that's it. That's the assembly of the business end. And then as for these pieces, you just slap that one on top, and then you can use this whenever you need it. Super simple. All right, so at the front of the machine here is just three different functions. You have the reverse function, you have the soft function for soft fruits and vegetables, and then you have the hard function for harder fruits and vegetables, and then that's it. So let's put this to the test and juice something. I've got apples, I've got carrots, and I'll find something else to juice, and then we'll be able to see how effective this little machine is without that metal filter. All right, so I'm going to start this on the hard mode. You might be able to hear the difference. This is hard mode, that's soft mode. Hard mode has a little bit more oomph behind it. All right, so let's start off. Let's juice these carrots that I cut up. Probably a good idea to open up this spout as well. So this is a pretty small opening where you put all of your stuff through, so you won't be able to put like a whole lot in at one time. And when it comes to the harder stuff, I do find myself having to work with it a little bit more. As you can see with this here carrot, have to give it a little bit of motivation to go through there. So let's just say I have these 3 and I just dump this in like this and I don't give it any kind of assistance. So you can see it's not going down in there. The auger is just sort of pushing it up. So I have to coerce it a bit in order for it to, you know, actually pass through. And once it passes through, it's just fine. It just needs a little bit of, just needs some help. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the beginning, but this machine sells for $129.99. You can find it on Amazon. I'll have the link in the description where you can find it there, and also a link to the official website so that you can check it out there as well. One thing that I would have done differently is made this piece longer, because when it's all the way down there, it sits just flush, and aesthetically it's nice, but I feel like it needs a little bit more length to it just to really help out with getting all the fruits and vegetables and stuff in there. I feel like if it were longer, I would have more leverage. So we've been juicing some apples and carrots, but let's try for some leafy greens. This is kale. It's all bunched up, so let's just kind of squeeze that down in there. Much easier time getting through the kale. You'll probably use the kale on the soft function and not the hard function, but whatever, it's not going to hurt it. Stuff some more apples in there. See, I put 3 apples in there at one time, and I think that might be a bit too much because I am pushing down on this harder than I would have liked to. So you definitely got to take it easy and not put as much in there as you would be tempted to. So we are all done. Here's all the pulp collected inside of this basket. Let's give this a squeeze so that we can get a sense of how dry or wet it is. So, you know, we got some drips, which is to be expected, but it's not soaking wet. I know some people like to run the pulp through the machine another time just to get as much as they can out of it, but that's not something that I do. But I think the quality of the pulp is pretty good. Now for the juice. First, let me bring the spout back up. Got a bit of a rainbow assortment of juice going on here. Admittedly, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but what's important are those nutrients. Let's give this a taste. Absolutely delicious. All right, so as far as cleaning this thing goes, it's really super easy. A little bit of warm water and some soap and some water. You get this thing clean lickety split, because all you have to do is just take it out like that, unscrew this, put in the sink, and you're good to go. But let's just take a look at this auger piece here. So here's a look at the auger piece here, and because there's no small holes and grooves like you would usually see with the filter, it makes it a lot easier to clean. And just like any other juicer, I recommend that you clean it immediately when you're done with it, just so that you can make sure that all those wet bits can easily wash away, so you don't have to worry about scrubbing and scraping it later. So overall, my thoughts about this juicer really boils down to the question of how much do you hate metal filters? Because that is the main selling point of this machine. Not having to take a brush and scrub all the pulp and all the little bits off of that filter to make sure it's completely clean before you put it up, so that you can avoid things like mold and bacteria growing later on down the line. If that is a huge pain point for you, then this machine just may be what you're looking for. And you also have to remember that this is a pretty small juicer and it's not particularly powerful. So even though it was able to juice the carrots and the apples and the kale in the end, there were some occasions where some of it got a little bit caught up and I had to do some coercing in order to really get them down in there so that the auger could do its work. Now, like I said, in the end, it worked, but I've used other juicers before that gave me less trouble because they were more powerful, maybe because those juicers are a little bit bigger. And then you also have to think about the aesthetics. This has that retro 1970s charm to it, and it has the retro color line to go along with it. So if you have other appliances in your kitchen that sort of follow that same trend, then maybe this is something that you'll want to add to your stable, especially if you just want to do some simple juicing and you're not too caught up on power levels or how wide feeding chutes are. This may just be something that's small enough and aesthetically pleasing enough to be acceptable in your kitchen. But for me, the best part about this juicer is not having to deal with that metal filter and also the ease of assembly. I love how everything just sort of snaps into place and everything's just very reassuring. The aesthetics is just a personal taste. It's not my taste, but I'm not holding that against it because I know there's a lot of people who like the shape and colors of these retro style juicers. So that's it, everybody. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this juicer, or if this is something that you could see in your kitchen. And again, if you're interested in picking it up, check the links down in the description. It'll take it right over to them. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jeremy. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.